8 years old, I was diagnosed with anxiety. 11 years old, I got accepted to play for Arsenal Women, PDP, and later went on to represent Arsenal Women in the academy. 13 years old, I got sexually harassed by a man whilst I was going to school. At 14, I took him to court, and now, at 16 years old, I stand here today doing a TED Talk. Now, what do all these experiences, although very different, have in common? They have shaped my growth and they have defined who I have become. You see, there is so much power behind the word growth, yet the way we are taught to grow is fundamentally limiting. See, as a student, I was convinced that if I aced every exam, revised for hours on end, cancelled out my social life, then and only then could I grow. However, I wish someone told me that growth can extend beyond the confines of a classroom and a grade. Growth is every day. Growth happens all the time. And only when we realize this is when we can truly grow. Not only that, but failing, I know, scary word, is growing too. You can't grow without failure. You see, there's this book called Grit, and it's by Angela Duckworth. In it, she discovers that there's one key quality that determines success. Not money, not the amount you earn, not how wealthy you are, not how intelligent you are, but one key quality. She took a group of cadets, teachers, and students and predicted who would get to the end of their course or education. Those who did had one key quality: grit, the act of persevering. From this, it is really important to understand that growth can happen in the most amazing and remarkable points in our life. But growth can also happen in the worst times we face, only if we persevere. Now, you see, I personally have had experience this with my anxiety, and it is so hard to adapt a positive mindset when bad things happen. Psychology actually refers to this as a negativity bias. You see, when we have faced with negative situations or challenges, it is 10 times easier to just process the negative facts and thoughts than generate energy to create happy hormones. So therefore, the difficulty is not the challenging situations that we face. The difficulty is perceiving this as our permanent condition. It is not. These challenging situations only create failure if that's how we perceive the rest of our life. From this, we need to understand that failure is not a block. Failure is not a reason to stop growing. Failure is a reminder that you are growing. Failure is a reminder that you can persevere. I had to do this when I was diagnosed with anxiety. To be honest, writing this TED Talk was amazing, but I stand here today feeling a little bit anxious. But anxiety was something that really hindered me. I couldn't go outside without having a panic attack. I couldn't go to school. I just couldn't until one day I could. And that was not because anxiety confined me. That was not because anxiety defined who I was. It was because I accepted anxiety, but I didn't accept that it wouldn't let me grow. I used anxiety as a tool for growth. The most challenging thing that has ever happened to me has made me who I am today. Only when we realize this is when we can truly grow. You see, I started playing for Arsenal because football was my release. I helped so many people with anxiety because I knew that if I did that, not only would I grow, I could help others grow too. This really changed my mindset on things. Anxiety was a part of me, but did not define me. It taught me that if I want to measure a person, I'm not going to measure them by academic success or intelligence anymore, although those things can be deemed as growing. I'm going to measure them by their capacity to grow. You see, growing has been one of the most incredible things that has ever happened to me, but it has also been one of the most challenging things. This was seen when I was sexually harassed. 13 years old, 27th of April 2021, 7:30 a.m. I would do my usual routine of walking to school, getting the bus, but only that day a man was there who I did not know, and he chose to sexually harass me. Now that left me with a choice. I could either let that experience define who I was, or I could choose to fight back. 14 years old, I took him to court. 14 years old, I chose that this experience, even though it was one of the hardest things I've had to do, I chose to not let this experience define me, but to in fact help me. Although I didn't win the case, I helped other people, I pursued, and my voice was for those who couldn't have one. So what I want you to take away from this talk today is that growth is an illusion. Growth can extend beyond the confines of what you think. Growth is every day. Growth happens all the time. Finally, I would like to do a little exercise if you were willing to join in. I want everyone to take their right hand and raise it as high as you possibly can. Okay, holding your hand up, raise it even higher. Come on, you can reach. Okay, thank you. You can all put your hands down now. You might be wondering, why did I get you to do this? But let me ask you a question. How come none of you raised your hand the highest you possibly could when I first asked you? Because I asked you all to raise it higher, and you still could. In life, why don't we try and reach the highest we possibly can in every opportunity we see? If there's one thing I want you to take away from this talk, then let it be this. Your perception becomes your reality. If you perceive everything in life, and I mean everything, as an opportunity to grow, you will widen the pathway you choose in life. So, next time, raise your hand higher. Thank you very much.